Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 2 of my Blood and Bones Let's Play. This game pack from Eyamaz, available on the Feed the Beast launcher. So I'm still getting things prepared, digging down. I've reached Y46. A couple of things you should be aware of. One, I am aware that that tower in the first episode is a roguelike dungeon. And I have very intentionally made my home here, as I'm going to be exploring and conquering that dungeon as the series progresses. I just want to get some basic kit going before I dive into it. Some armor and a proper sword at a minimum. Now, once I got down here to this area, I discovered that continuing my staircase in the same direction leads into a giant ravine that is part of the roguelike dungeon. That is suicidal, and I'm not going to do that. So I've got this blocked off, and I've started expanding this way. I found myself a whole bunch more gravel down here, another whole pocket of it, so I gathered that up. And I have a torch on my head to provide light. Otherwise, it's pitch black. So that's the best we get for light at the moment. As I was digging down, I opened up a gas pocket right here. And I wanted to show you how I dealt with that and why I have ember chargers and coal in my inventory. So I took that torch of mine, and I actually set it down in there. Well, actually, hang on. It got very dark all of a sudden. I stuck the torch. Well, as soon as I saw that there was gas, I covered it back up because I broke this block. That block was still there. Gas started pouring out. I covered it back up, and I set the torch right there. And then I broke this block. And the gas started lighting as it came out while I stayed well back here. And since this was the only little bit of an exit, all of the fire stayed down in there. A couple of cinders started spawning, and I kind of just poked my head in and said, "Hey guys, come out and see me." Killed them with the axe. This all happened too fast for me to really get a good record of it going. Alright. I'm very low on food, but my juice supplies are holding out for now. I have gathered a ton of sand, coal, and clay and gravel from the local area so that I will have the ability to get myself a smeltery going sometime soon. And that's not the only way that I'm going to be processing ore this series, but that's how I'm going to start things. Now, there's a coal deposit over here. Coal is both great and dangerous. So, if I put a torch down here in the world, set it back there, and I mine that bit of coal, this is going to release gas that is going to burn. Actually explode. Did I say burn? I meant explode. Hopefully that torch is still here somewhere. Hang on. I can get out of this. Back as soon as I find my way back to the surface. So, the moral of this story is that torches near coal is very hazardous to your health, and you're going to want to avoid that. Now, something else that I've done, let me check the time, because oh good, it's nice and daytime, because I am completely out of wood. I made myself a saw to increase my log production. If I run over here to the forest, well, I say run, I mean walk slowly and casually, because I can't expend that kind of food reserves on something like running. I pick up some logs, and you will see that I can get a proper amount of logs out of these by using the saw. Now, it's 1 durability per craft, and you only get 32 durability out of the stone saw, and it uses either 2 smooth stone or, where is it? There. Nope. Hang on. Stone tool rod is the one I need. There. Or 4 cobblestone to make each of these, plus 1 flint and 2 sticks. That will get you the ability to double your log output for 32 logs. Very useful early on. Not essential if you don't mind doing a little bit of extra chopping down trees. Now, I'm also gathering up some more rubber. And the reason that I want the rubber and planks right now is because I want torches. To make torches, you need not 1, but 2 sticks. 1 stick and some coal won't do it for you. But you can also use some rubber. Hang on. I know that there's a way to do this. It might be the stick, the coal, and the rubber. Hang on. Let me check. Ah, there it is. You need 4 sticks to get 4 torches. So you can double your torch output per coal, but you're going to need to use 1 stick per torch that you create. So I'm going to finish chopping down some trees, get some more torches, head back down there, continue until I can find myself the things that I need to get some ore processing started. And once I've done that, I will be back. Alright folks, as you can see, I've done a fair bit of digging, came up with a few copper, some coal, can't actually dig up tin yet. Unlike what I said last episode, you do need to have an iron or better pick to get tin. So, rather than continue messing around with this stone pickaxe, I'm pretty much done with that. I am honest, impatient, and bored, so I'm going to upgrade. And to do that, I am going to need to dig all the way down and get myself some lava. I could go exploring and hope to find a lava lake, but the map is fairly comprehensive, and I'm not seeing any lava lakes well, that might be one over there. You know what? Sure. Let's check the time. Where is my sun? Okay. Still morning. This is as good a time as any to head out. We will head to the northwest and see if we can get some lava out of that lake up there. Oh, but to do that, I'm going to need to make myself a bucket. Now, normally you need iron for buckets. Luckily, Iguana Tweaks gives you the option of making some clay buckets. And to make a clay bucket, it's a simple case of 3 clay. I'm actually going to use 6 in a pattern like this, because I want 2 buckets worth of the stuff, just in case. And you're going to want to cook that in your furnace. Now, you could use what little coal you have in your furnace if you wanted, but that doesn't seem like the best idea. Saplings are pretty good in that yes, they can be used as fuel, and they will process two saplings for 1 item. You can also use any of your wood items. Logs, will get you 1.5 items processed, but 1 log can be 4 planks with the saw, and that'll get you 1.5 items processed each. So you're better off using the planks no matter what, even if you only use the 2. But then 2 planks makes 4 sticks, so every plank is 2 sticks. 2 sticks will only cook 1 item. So it looks like we're going to want to use planks to do our cooking. Hopefully those 2 will be enough to cook the 2 clay buckets. As it said, it would do 1.5 apiece. Luckily, I have plenty of clay at the moment. I'm going to make sure I leave all of this stuff here. I will take my juicer, my table and flint to be able to repair my tools, and my food with me. Turn that into juice. Alright, so let's go for an adventure. Now, I do want to try to avoid as much jumping as I can, but that can be easier said than done at times. And I'm not going to run. I learned my lesson on that one. Alright. So, what you see off in the distance there, that is an ender forest. That comes from one of Reika's mods, and is going to be an extremely useful place for me, because... ooh, a bit of a ravine there. Neat. Endermen spawn very frequently in the Ender Forest, and there are multiple pools of resident Ender just lying around. It's going to be very, very useful once I get up the tiers of thermal expansion, and I need to get my hands on a bunch of resident Ender. Okay, coming up on the snow biome now, and it's raining. Wait a second. Nope, that is that tree. Okay. Hey, get some eggs while I'm at it, though. Leave those chickens alone. See? Ender Forest. Always forage up what you can along the way. That over there... Oh, wait a second. Seems darker than it is because of the rain. That over there is a witchery hut. Careful with that. You want to stay a bit away from it if you can. There are hostile witches that will spawn from it. Alright, there's some lava right here. Oops. There we go. Got 1 bucket's worth. Might just call that good and get because it is dark out. And I don't like how dark it is. Yeah, if I look over there underneath the trees, I can see some skeletons. So it's probably a little dangerous to try to head up there to that lava pool that I think I saw, and I'm not even 100% certain I did. Because now that I'm looking it all over again, I'm not sure it's there. But it might be right around the corner here. We'll go check. I may end up regretting this. If I do, though, I'm not exactly losing anything of really high value. Some nice things, but yeah. I see some stone, but no actual lava. That's okay. Yeah, it would have been right there. So, no lava pool. A shame. Alright, time to head home with the bit of lava that I do have. Now, I'm going to need to make a safe place to actually build my smeltery, because the creatures in the world are not happy about me being in it, and will do their best to kill me and destroy everything that I own. That means I can't just plop it down on the ground and expect it to go unmolested like you can in most mod packs. I actually need to build myself a bit of an area to keep it safe. But I've got some plans for that. And, well, the starter plans are a little silly, but it will be worth it. You'll see. Let me start doing some building. Almost there. Good. And once I have myself ready with my smeltery all set up, I will cut back in. Alright, folks, let's see what I've got here. I have been farming up masses and masses of sugar. Because... careful with that guy. He's in my moat, but he's not very happy to be there. I have built myself a bit of a moat, which I'm planning on filling with some defenses, with 2 ways across, with a little gap that I need to hop across. But, you know what? That's fine. And I have a little bit of a walled off area in here. This should be safe enough for now until I can get some more advanced defensive emplacements put up later on. The goal is going to be to fill that moat, the bottom of it, with punji sticks. That's why it's 3 deep. I believe I'll be able to basically fill the bottom with the 1 high of punji sticks, and everything should die. Which means that I can collect up my goods from this little hovel here and move them over there. I may regret this decision later. I'm not 100% certain that I'm safe from the hostile world's invasions, but I think I'm in a good spot for what I've been able to learn about the mod so far. Could have sworn I already had some of those made. Anyway, let's talk about grout. I went down digging some more, found myself more coal, specifically because I want to get that smeltery going, and I wanted a decent fuel source. And early on, coal is really your best bet for a fuel source. You could use sugar charcoal. You can turn your sugar cane into sugar, and then when you cook the sugar, you get sugar charcoal. Problem is, when you cook sugar charcoal, you get 2 items processed. So for every 1 item that you create, you need another piece of sugar to continue having fuel to have a perpetual source. It's a pain. It is not very efficient and not a good use of your sugar when you could be using it to make these, because these are your best friend early on. Now, these aren't foolproof. In fact, they are far from it. But they do a pretty good job. And if I can get just a ring of them around this area that I've dug out, I should be in decent shape. Tools. So my shovel gained a level of haste, and my pickaxe gained a level of reinforced. Not the most wonderful thing to gain on a pickaxe, but it's better than a kick in the teeth. That's the way I figure it. So I'm going to get this furnace down right there. And what I'm going to do with my coal. So normally, coal is good for one, well, nope, fuel. There we go. It's good to process 8 items. Alternatively, you can turn 9 of it. Hang on. There we go. You can turn 9 of it into a block of coal, which will happily smelt 80 items. So you get 10 coal worth out of your block of coal. This might not be the most efficient early fuel. It's probably not the absolute best option, and it's certainly not renewable. However, it will handle, in one block of coal, basically everything that I need out of, everything I need to get a smeltery started, at least. So, gonna get those smelting, and I'm gonna monitor this, keep an eye on it, until I can feed in another 48 coal to make 80 total. I mean 48 grout. So, I'll be back once it's time to actually build the smeltery. Just wanted to check in as I weather my first night on my new little platform here. Seem to be fairly safe so far. This is an effective place at the moment. I can guarantee that until I get enough punji sticks in the bottom, it is not going to be safe in the long term. And even then, I'm not certain if that will be enough to keep me safe. So, yeah, the night continues. Just wanted to show you that I've gotten about halfway through, more or less, one night without any issues so far. See you in the morning. Alrighty, folks. Quick check-in at the next dusk. The smeltery is progressing. I have learned that the smeltery will not double ore output in this pack. So, we're going to need something else to help us get more output. And that is going to be one of the crushers from metallurgy. These are going to be your enhanced metal output devices early on. Later, we'll have other options, but at the moment, a stone crusher is going to be our best bet to get things started. So I'm going to recollect one of these furnaces. Built myself a couple extra furnaces so I could cook some glass while I was still smelting up my grout into seared bricks. And I also got some things constructed outside the bit. That sounds like something dying on my punji sticks. Good. Unfortunately, punji sticks are a target for mob griefing, so yeah, I have to do a little bit of repair outside of the base every morning. Apparently that'll be going away in a future version, but that version is not now. Alright, stone crusher. We need the furnace, we need some cobble, we need some sticks. Sticks might actually be the stopping point here. Oh no, I have just enough wood to make myself more. I need to go cut down some trees. Now, the crushers from metallurgy, they are basically their own tech tree, because I can upgrade that stone crusher later into a copper crusher, and then the copper crusher becomes the bronze becomes the iron, and the iron becomes the steel. The steel crusher cannot be upgraded any further. That's as good as it gets. Now, what this thing does, if I grab myself a bit of coal, and a bit of, well, I'm going to need copper and aluminum to do what I want to do. If I throw in some copper and some coal, you'll see that it begins processing. And it will output some form of dust. I believe that it'll be the thermal expansion dusts in this pack because the IC2 pulverized stuff does not exist. I don't know if metallurgy has their own dusts. We're about to find out, aren't we? And in fact, I'm going to grab the rest of my copper and aluminum and coal, and we'll see how much we can get out of one piece of coal. So there we go. Got 2 pulverized copper out of 1 ore, and this I'll be able to use in the smeltery to get 2 ingots worth of copper, which is great because that means that I can start building what I need to make copper pickaxes, which will allow me to mine iron. It's a whole path. All right, let's see. So I'm going to let that process, and once that is complete, well, it looks like 1 coal only gets me 2 pieces processed. Yes. As you go up the tech tier of the crushers, they become both faster and more efficient. So it won't take that long or that much fuel forever. But for right now, that's just the best we have. Okay, be back once more things are ready. Alright, I apologize that it is still dark out. However, we have things processed enough to get started on creating a copper pickaxe to progress the tech tree. I have 4 aluminum dust and 4 pulverized copper, and I'm spending the rest of my coal getting more of my copper pulverized for smelting. I'm going to dump my 1 bucket of clay lava into my seared tank and get this started going with 3 aluminum dust and 1 copper dust for the time being. And I'm actually going to want a couple more copper dust right now because it uses basically the same amount of fuel either way. So the faster I can get this dust into there, the more efficient I'll be on the little bit of lava I've already collected. Now, those 3 aluminum and 1 copper are going to alloy themselves into 5 aluminum brass. And what I'm going to use that aluminum brass for is to make myself patterns. Well, not patterns, casts, I believe they're called. So if I go over here to the part builder and I put my pickaxe head pattern in there, grab myself a stone pickaxe head, I'm going to have this in the casting table. And as soon as that 1 bit of pulverized copper is done, there we go. I now have 4 ingots of molten aluminum brass. Good. And you can, in the smeltery, you can decide what is going to pour out by whatever is on the bottom. So if I go to the molten copper and I click on that, it'll go to the bottom. Or if I go back to the molten aluminum brass, you can resort what is going to go when. So there we go. My 4 ingots of molten aluminum brass, I'm going to spend 1 of those making a pickaxe head pattern. Well, cast. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to reselect the molten copper. And I'm going to pour myself a copper pickaxe head. Get some more copper smelted down. Fantastic. And now I can use that copper pickaxe head with the pickaxe that I already have to improve it in the tool station. I believe that this needs to be fully repaired before I can do that. Yes, it does. So I'm going to need to get myself some flint, which I've got a little bit, but I can make more. Plenty of gravel in the world. Whoops. There we go. Plenty of gravel in the world. No sense not getting my stuff fully repaired before I can do this. Getting a copper version fully repaired will be a little bit more painful later on. And there we go. That will change it to the copper pickaxe head. I will need to get it boosted before it will be able to mine iron. However, you can see that the copper pickaxe will be mining speed 4, where this is only mining speed 2. So, and the effective durability also increases by 55 with the use of that reinforced that I already have. So, there we go. I have increased my tech level significantly. Now, if I want to, I can also make myself casts for a axe head, tool binding. The tool binding, not as useful, but the axe head and the tool rod, very useful, as well as the shovel head. And I'm going to be using all of these throughout, so I may as well get them going right now. Oops, that's a chisel. That's okay. That'll work. Alright, get these deposited. So, the way I like to do this so that I keep everything nice and organized. Hang on. Let me see. There we go. Select the molten aluminum brass. I'm actually not going to do the chisel head right now. I'm just going to do the axe, shovel, and tool rod. I'll put down the shovel head, fill it up, and then select the next one that I'm going to be using. That way I don't accidentally double dip. And I can keep it moving in a pretty snappy manner. Now you'll see that I burned through a little bit more than half of my lava doing this, but I have a nice collection of 10 molten copper ingots just hanging out in there, waiting for me to be ready to use them. I'm going to use 2 of them to upgrade my shovel and my axe while I'm at it, because I may as well. I'm going to need to do a lot more lumberjacking and a lot more digging before I have access to much better materials. There we go. My axe is already ready. And the great thing about increasing the axe is... Oh, nope, the attack damage stays the same. That's a shame. However, the durability and the speed is really what changes, which is pretty fantastic, I think. Being able to go from 2 speed to 8 speed in this case, yeah, that would have been really nice digging out this whole area. Now, there's not a whole lot of reason for me to keep the stone bits that I've already used, so I'm going to dispose of them somewhere where they can despawn. Now, next step is to do a significant amount of mining. I need to get myself a lot of iron and a lot more coal, and if I'm lucky, find a bit more lava that I can use to continue on. But before I can do that, I need more food. I am running very, very low. And foraging just wasn't cutting it. So, I built myself a very small apple grove out there. Oop. Looks like there is... Oh boy. Hi, guy. Fire zombie over here. That's okay. I win. Oops. So, as you can see, he was staying just out of damage range of these punji sticks and killing them slowly. If I can fill this entire bottom area with them, it won't be as much of an issue. However, creepers will occasionally explode. Honestly, there's no way to build a completely invulnerable base that you never need to do maintenance on this early in the game. Your best bet would be to try to dig yourself into a mountainside, but that's not as safe as you might think it is. There's definitely some downsides to attempting to do that. So, between this episode and next, I'm going to do a lot of digging off camera, some mining around to get myself the materials that I need to continue. Going to clear out as many of these trees right near my base as I can to get, 1, get more wood, and 2, make it a little safer to wander around during the day. And next time, we'll work on progressing the tech tree some, and if I'm lucky, I'll get to start on another mod and get myself some very important tools that will help me in the long run. One thing that would be very, very nice to attain in the near future... Actually, that sheep's alone. Alright. So, as I was mentioning before, early on, animals will attempt to kill you. They are not your friends. If you attack one in a large herd, they will all come at you at the same time. However, that was the first lone sheep that I found, and I also happened to find a bit of wool just hanging out inside of my moat one morning. So I am 2/3 of the way towards a bed, which will give me a nice safe respawn point inside of that, inside of my little dirt fortress there, which will be quite nice. Unfortunately, I'm not quite there yet. So, thank you for joining me for another episode of Blood and Bones. Now, you guys have noticed I have been away for a bit. I'm going to put out a vlog about that tomorrow, talk about why I was not uploading and why this episode took quite so long to get out, and there's a lot of stuff involved. The short answer is that it has to do with my mental health and the fact that I was in a relatively bad place over the past week or so. And I mean, you'll get more details on that when I feel like sharing. It's not something that I like talking about most of the time because it is something that there's still a lot of stigma about and a lot of shame attached to it in our culture. However, I feel you guys deserve some answers on exactly where I went. So, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. See you next time.